The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 came into force on 1st March 1882. No person other than dash can draw, accept, make or issue any bill of exchange, promissory note or hundi payable on demand other than the Bangladesh Bank. The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 doesn't affect the provision of Section 25 and 35 of Bangladesh Bank Order 1972. In which section of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 promissory note is defined? Section 4. Under which section of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 bill of exchange is defined? Section 5. Under which section of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 cheque is defined? Section 6. Which of the following is not an essential element of a promissory note? It must be in writing is essential element. It must be signed by the maker. It is also an essential element. It must contain an unconditional promise to pay. Option A, B and D are essential elements of promissory note, so the correct answer would be option C. The undertaking contained in a promissory note to pay a certain sum of money is unconditional. How many parties are there in a promissory note? 2. How many parties are there in a bill of exchange? 3. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order to pay. Who is the person directed to pay the amount in a bill of exchange? Drawee. Which of the following is not true about a bill of exchange? It contains a request to pay. A bill of exchange, other than those payable on demand, must be accepted by the drawee. How many parties are there in a cheque? 3. A cheque is a bill of exchange where the drawee is always a banker. Who can cross a cheque? Drawer, holder, banker, all of them. A cheque is always payable on demand. The statement is true. A cheque is crossed dash when it bears across its face an addition of the name of a banker, either with or without the words not negotiable, specially. Under Section 118 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, it is presumed until the contrary is proved that every transfer of a negotiable instrument was made before maturity. The presumption as to the date of a negotiable instrument under Section 118 is that every negotiable instrument bearing a date was made or drawn on such date it bears. Where a cheque is crossed, generally the banker on whom it is drawn shall not pay it otherwise than to a banker. In which section of the Act the term negotiable instrument is defined? Section 13. The undertaking contained in a promissory note to pay a certain sum of money is unconditional. An instrument incomplete in one way or other is called inchoate instrument. A bill of exchange contains an unconditional order to pay. Can a corporation be party to a negotiable instrument? Yes, if authorized by its articles of association. The term a cheque in the electronic form is defined in the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 under Section 6, Explanation A. If a minor draws, endorses, delivers, or negotiates an instrument, such instrument binds all parties except the minor. A promissory note, bill of exchange, or cheque drawn or made in Bangladesh and made payable in or drawn upon any person resident in Bangladesh is inland instrument. If an instrument may be construed either as a promissory note or a bill of exchange, it is an ambiguous instrument. If the words "not negotiable" are used with special crossing in a check, the check is not negotiable. Crossing of the check affect the negotiability of the instrument, mode of payment, both A and B. When a promissory note, bill of exchange, or check is transferred to any person so as to continue the person the holder thereof, the instrument is said to be negotiated. The maturity of a promissory note or bill of exchange is the date at which it falls due. When the day on which a promissory note or bill of exchange is at maturity is a public holiday, the instrument shall deemed to be due on the next preceding business day, which is not an essential element of a bill of exchange. It must be in writing, it must be unconditional, it must be an inland instrument. Option C is not an essential element of a bill of exchange. When an instrument is drawn conditionally or for a special purpose as a collateral security and not for the purpose of transferring property therein, it is called a escrow instrument. When a check is payable across the counter of a bank, it is called open check. How many grace days we can get for check? 0. How many grace days we can get for bill of exchange and promissory note? 3. In the case of promissory note which is not negotiable, no notice of dishonor is necessary. Which is not a bill of exchange? Share. Which of the following is true about bank draft? It is very much like a check. What will happen if in an instrument the amount undertaken or ordered to be paid is stated differently in figures and in words? It is a very important question. The amount in words shall be undertaken or ordered to be paid. আমাদের যদি কোনো বিল অফ এক্সচেঞ্জ পাই সেখানে যদি সংখ্যায় লেখাটা এবং কথায় লেখাটা ভিন্নতা পাওয়া যায়, ধরেন সংখ্যায় লেখা আছে 30,000 এবং কথায় লেখা আছে 35,000, তাহলে কথায় যেটা লেখা আছে সেটাই গণ্য হবে। The legal representative in Section 29 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 is personally liable unless especially excluded. Where an endorser of an instrument excludes his liability and afterwards becomes the holder of the instrument who is liable to him, all intermediate parties are liable to him. A bill is drawn payable to A or order. A endorses it to B. The endorsement not containing the word or order or any equivalent words can be negotiate the instrument. The instrument is bearer instrument, so yes. If the endorser signs his name and adds a direction to pay the amount mentioned in the instrument to specified person, the endorsement is said to be endorsement in full. In determining reasonable time for the purpose of payment of a negotiable instrument, public holidays are excluded. The engagement to pay must be entered into before maturity.